right here on the home front in New York, you know, if you want to go back out, I'm annoyed. I got the masks in my car. I'm annoyed. I don't want to put on a mask, but I also don't want corona. And I also don't want someone to come near me and they get corona. Okay? So I'm dealing with the mask like everyone should. Okay? If we're going to start getting out, we got to agree to still social distance and mask. Okay? When you get down into smaller groups, you can make your own assumptions. You could do a little research. You could figure out who didn't have it, who had it over a month ago. I'm talking to some doctors who are saying that if you're clean for a month, you should be good. So, and there's all kinds of small outlying things like recidivism, and some people have gotten it twice, much smaller and smaller granular amounts, but it's still possible. But when you get into smaller groups in open spaces, you could figure out if you all have to drink a beer through the mask. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe like a, I got to call Carla on this one. Maybe like a Velcro mouth that you can flip it up or something like that. Not horrible. Not horrible, actually. Carla, I got to get on the show anyway. She's got the Near and Far Foundation, where they ask people through social media to, support the health and humane treatment of mostly dogs, animals. And she's also making custom face masks now, which are all cuisine and everything. But maybe a little slit, where you could like flip it up. Or you can flip it down like this, and then you can drink your beer. If you're not drinking, you just put it back up. Not horrible. I got to talk to Carla about that. So, in New York City, a few weeks ago, there was this video that leaked out of a whole bunch of people in the Hasidic community out for either a holiday or a funeral or some mass gathering. And they came under fire. The mayor came under fire. No, everybody's out, congregating, talking, no social distance, all this stuff. And then I guess yesterday it happened again. And it looked to me like there was a total disregard for social distancing. But I would say most of the people there had masks on. So that's a start. Last time they weren't masked. Now this time there's a lot of them. They're gathered. They're not 10 feet apart, but they do have masks on. Okay, so something's there. Gets really weird when it's, I guess to me at least, when it's a funeral. Okay, and you got the state mayor, government telling the church how they can hold certain ceremonial gatherings. So it's like it gets really tricky. And we have been probably one of the biggest advocates on television for almost all causes Israel and Jewish related. Okay, we've covered every single bit. My friends from the Republican Jewish Coalition, name it. Okay, but I would say these communities are very tightly woven. They congregate in the same places. Like, take a second thought for your fellow man. Because, as soon as this comes out of it, the more people that still have it or just got it, that's the biggest issue. So, I was going to show some video of it. I couldn't get it in, but I mean, if there were, you know what? Let me get that video, and then we'll come back to that. It looks like it's bright as day out there, but it's a little overcast actually. What I'm looking at out my window there. Keep the memes flying. I actually have a bunch of them. I don't know which ones Nico has loaded in, but I could tell you that. Oh, I had a couple of good ones, but let's see. Nico. So, let's see. Everyone saw the knock knock one. Who's there? Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Kim Jong Un. Okay, North Korean dictator. Trump said he had a great relationship with him. Saw a meme out there the other day of the two of them sitting in like a coffee shop with two people that look exactly like him. It was pretty funny. Something strange is going on in North Korea. I don't know what it is, but keep your eye on it, or keep your eye on the ball. Not one person in the administration has given a binary answer to the question, is the North Korean dictator still alive? Okay, no answer to that question. They say, we're keeping a close eye on it. We're taking a look at it. We know everything that's happening. We're going to know something more soon. Okay, there's all these different things that are happening. Okay, but something is not being told to us. That's for sure. And you keep your eye on it. But I think he may be incapacitated or something, or maybe, we or the Chinese incapacitated him. I don't know. Maybe he got corona, and they didn't expect it. It caught him off guard. I'm really not sure, but I think something happened. And they're supposedly saying that the next in line is his sister. So we may have, Trump trying to make a, nuclear disarmament deal with Kim Jong-un's sister. So little strange, but let's see. Somebody sent this in. Kim Jong-un, the type to fake his death, then punish everyone that celebrated. Yeah, that one is pretty good. I like that one. There's a few more out there. There's a bunch of Hillarys floating around. That's for sure. Oh, this one I love. Who gets the Nobel Peace Prize next year? Well, certainly him, the guy who failed Kim Jong-un's heart surgery. Memes of the day. You can keep them coming. Keep flipping them in. Nico's also monitoring at all times. So if you want to send something to Nico, make sure you follow us. If you could, do me a solid. Make sure you follow us on Liquid Lunch TV. If you're watching on Facebook, follow the Facebook page if you haven't already. Instagram, Liquid Lunch TV. YouTube, Liquid Lunch TV. Liquid Lunch TV. We're going to start some new stuff next week, and it's going to include a much wider distribution of what we're doing on a daily basis. We'll still be recording our best interviews for the week for Newsmax TV, but I'm going to shift gears a little bit in the 12 to 2 hour, do a little less politics and a lot more business, because I'm getting a lot of feedback from people that they blah, 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 blah. What are people doing now? How can I fix my company? How can I get cheaper health insurance? How can I get some funding? All these other things. And cities, municipalities, towns. Is there any technology I could use to do this, that, the other thing? There's so much going on where my actual intellectual capacity to formulate opinions on the news, that keeps me sharp. But what I do naturally is talk about business and markets. I've been calling the markets from the short side for over a decade. It's all out there. It's well documented. I'm not a big buyer of stocks, so I tend to take a different perspective when I look at business and opportunity and ways to market it and grow it. So I'm going to tell you a little later in the week, how you can get a little more connected to our business focus. And then there are other great things going on where we may be coming to a theater near you at a much better primetime hour with a different type of show that may be a little more politicsy. So lots happening. A lot of people are now content creators. And when you have a lot of people now adapted to, okay, wait, I can make content from home. I can, use a Dropbox and send back and forth files. They got these cute little apps on the social media that I can add third graphics and stuff. I can do this myself. So a lot of those people that are great at that and now learning how much better they can be at that are creating content that's smart and focused and around business and lifestyle and stuff you want to know and learning, education. So we're going, 2.0 with the whole production capacity. And there may be a whole stream of people who have smart, insightful commentary, and start to build our own business type community. So I'm working on that day and night. Believe me when I tell you, when I'm not on here, I'm on call to call, and people say, "Hey, how could you not answer me? You're in the middle of a quarantine. We know you're home doing nothing." Well, I'm home. I'm not doing nothing. I'm writing. I'm thinking. I'm reading. I'm on call to call. Amazing stuff happening. I got to tell you, awesome stuff happening on the InvestView front. But I'm not going to talk about that until a little later in the week also. But let's see. Hillary came out, as we mentioned a little earlier, and she endorsed Joe Biden yesterday. Snooze. I don't know why these people expose themselves. This is Hillary put out a tweet saying, "Please don't poison yourself because Donald Trump thinks it could be a good idea." And Benny Johnson replied, "The only thing Hillary ever used bleach on was her emails." Ba-dum-bum. Pretty good one, if you ask me. I don't know. I feel like it's a setup. I would almost, if you asked me to bet, will Joe Biden be the presidential candidate on election day, I would say I would go 70 no, 30 yes. So I'm on the other side of that trade heavy. I can't see him making it. I can't. And if he does, it's going to be like a sacrificial lamb almost, because the party is going to throw him to the wolves. We'll endure another 4 years. We'll track down Trump. We'll track him down. We'll shake him down. We'll arrest his friends. Oh, wait, we did that already. That didn't work. Keeping a close eye on Michael Flynn, by the way, who went from one of the most decorated, respected men in our country, maybe our history. He'll go down in history as a great general, marred by a scandal where he didn't file a form, and then his own government, who he served with his own blood and life, tricked him into having a meeting with him that he thought was off the record, and we were all on the same team. Little did he know they were trying to snag him at that time. So, and I could go back, like way back in this thing, okay? But I had said all the way back to the whole Mueller probe and everything that there's a simple thing, even us dopey non-lawyers know, okay? You learn this somewhere in 4th grade or something. The fruit of the poisonous tree, okay? It's like goes back to biblical times almost. But if they started the investigation into Flynn under a false premise, anything else that is acquired by the way of intelligence, I think it's all dead. There's probably a million interpretations. I'm not a lawyer, but this guy should be reinstated to humanity, and there's no way that society can just take the blemish off his record. So that's the reputational death toll in being friends with Donald Trump. Roger Stone is facing potentially the Grim Reaper, as he's due to be sentenced due to report to prison. And Michael Avenatti, Michael Cohen, all these people that were already in jail have been let out. But we're going to send the 67-year-old guy in. Tell me how that makes sense. Like, put an ankle bracelet on him. He never had another crime in his life. This is a process crime. This is a paper crime. Okay? They said he was going to go down for treason, this, that. Nada. Nothing. Okay? So, same thing. Jerome Corsi, I think he went bad on Roger. The whole thing is nuts. All right? And I just don't understand. I'm just hoping they're saving up one big missile to fire it across the aisle. And I don't know. I don't know why no one is ever snagged on the other side when you want to think that Trump is in control. I don't know. Scary to really think about it. That's why I drink during the show. We're waiting for Harry Kazianis to join us. And Harry is the Senior Director of Korean Studies at the Center for the National Interest. They're a nonpartisan foreign policy think tank. And it was founded by Richard Nixon. A little point of interest while we're waiting for Harry Kazianis here. If you didn't know this, Roger Stone actually has a tattoo of Richard Nixon's face on the back shoulder blade of his back, an actual tattoo about that big, okay? So, you know, I don't know. I have always looked at him as a patriot and somebody that is willing to mix it up in the public discourse, even get down in the mud and play dirty. But, you know, it's like trying to wade into a cold pool. You know what I mean? If you want to get in the mud only up to the bottom of your calves, you ain't going to be too good in a fight. So, you know, my friend Frankie, my partner, was Frank Morano, was one of the executive producers on Get Me Roger Stone, the movie, documentary by Morgan Packme. And I think even the documentarians had, you know, testified not in favor of Roger or not favorably towards Roger. I don't know. But it's definitely a Netflix smash hit. You got to go check that out. Get Me Roger Stone. And if you want to see a guy who really had it all taken away from him for basically doing what he dreamed of doing for many years, getting Donald Trump to run for and win the presidency, and he's now facing jail because of it. So it's the price some people have to pay. And it does seem like the closer you get to the president, like Donald Trump Jr. and Jared, they try to send in like these undercover spies to get them to say, well, we offered you stuff on Hillary. Nothing going on. Every angle, not one American colluded with Russia. Not one. That's what Mueller's words were. Not one American. So that's no sons, daughters, friends, aunts, cousins, franchisees. Nothing. And yet, Ukraine, Brett Kavanaugh, you know, all these things, they just keep pounding the drum. And it's if you really think about it, okay, just the mental beating that this guy must take, it's crazy. It's like he's been 3 years is like dog years. It's like he's been in office 21 years, and he did, you know, simultaneously create one of the greatest market economies in history and one of the worst. So it's like, you know, it would be nice if we could just bring both of those back in here and take this, put it in a hind view mirror and start building the economy again. Setback. We talked to the doctor today, Sumi Echimpati from clearedforwork.com, and he was talking about how they adapted. Right now, they adapted to a new thing. Okay, we were in the flu checking business. Now we're in the cleared for work business, where we can help people get back to work, where we can help employers get their employees back to work by doing, you know, simple community health surveys with people reporting what they know about themselves. Tremendous.